Hi everyone, I'm Arglefump. This is the schedule for my book review channel for May 2023. I'm gonna be celebrating Mermaid with Little Mermaid book reviews. I'll review the first 6 books of the Little Mermaid chapter book series, which came out in 1992 to 1994. I could be mistaken about when the series came out. So, the first book of the series is based on an episode of the TV show, even though the book was written before that episode aired. It's about a girl named Pearl who goes to Electric City and does bad things. Book number 2 is Nafasia. She is from India. She was friends with King Triton because he studied in India when going to college. And by the way, King Triton went to college? What is this information? That's some interesting backstory there. Anyway, Nafasia comes to visit, and King Triton's daughters think, oh no, he's going to marry her, but of course he does not. On the 8th, we have 2 more Babysitters Club book reviews. I don't remember book 104. Abby's Twin is the name of the book, and that is such a generic title, I can't remember it. I hope it's not the book where Abby is trying to be extra nice to her twin, but Abby ends up being the worst person ever. She comes across as really mean-spirited and stupid. Like, her sister wants new clothes, and Abby's like, oh, okay, I'll just buy a bunch of soccer clothes for me, and then pretend it's a gift for my sister. And then she's like, oh, hey, my sister is watching music, which is something her sister really enjoys. She's like, no, turn off that crud. We're going to play video games instead. And Anna says, Abby, I don't want to play video games. And Abby's like, no, you don't like music. You like video games. And Abby's just a jerk and an idiot the whole time. How does she not know her twin sister likes music? That's like one of the 3 things we know about Anna, which gets said in the recap chapter of every book. She's a music fan. So, hopefully it's not that book. I think this is the book. Yeah, I think that's the book where Abby's just really terrible to her sister. And if you watch that review, I complain a lot. I believe book 105 was one I actually enjoyed. It has a bunch of different storylines. It's where Stacy joins the mathletes. And that's pretty cool and exciting. It works for her because she's always loved math. Okay, book number 3 is Reflections of Ursula. So Ursula disguises herself as a mermaid, infiltrates the palace, and causes mayhem. Ariel figures out what's going on, and she exposes Ursula. Exciting stuff. Book number 4, I don't think I like this one as much. It's where Ariel's sisters... Ariel has 6 sisters, and their names are all very similar, so I have a hard time telling them apart. The sisters split up into 2 groups. One group wants to do a musical performance. The other group wants to do a play. Ariel jumps back and forth between both groups. And in the end, they decide to do a musical play. I don't know why it's called The Same Old Song, though. The title kind of is related to the book. On the 14th, we have Catwoman Tiger Hunt. So this is a Catwoman-themed Batman book. Yeah, it's mostly about her. I seem to recall there were like 2 main storylines going on, one with Batman, one with Catwoman, and they don't interact all that much. But it was actually interesting how she gets a new roommate who's kind of a silly person who very much contrasts with her and such. And Batman's going up against a super genius who like secretly controls half the world. And it just sort of ends there because that character never appears in any other Batman story. And Encyclopedia Brown number 7, so next Encyclopedia Brown book, that's on the 14th. Now for more Little Mermaid. Number 5 is Arista's New Boyfriend. Great book. Arista is the shy sister who doesn't like going to parties, and she falls in love with Dylan, who's a stable boy, but there's drama because her father would not approve of her dating like this servant because she's a princess, and so they have drama because of that. Ariel the Spy, ooh, I did not like this one. So Ariel thinks that her teacher is a spy. It's very much like the exact same problem as Abby's twin, which is, in order for the story to work, your main character has to be really stupid and ignore it when people tell her the truth. So like Abby gets told over and over, that's not what Anna likes. Abby, stop it, you're doing the wrong thing. And she's like, no, I know best. I think I'm right. exact same thing with Ariel the spy. Ariel thinks her teacher has been kidnapped and replaced with an evil spy who's trying to win Teacher of the Year. And her dad says, no, Ariel, you're wrong. Your teacher was not kidnapped. And the replacement teacher says, no, Ariel, you're wrong. Your teacher was not kidnapped. The principal says, Ariel, you're wrong. Your teacher was not kidnapped. I believe some of her sisters say that. And every single time, Ariel's like, no, I know best. I'm the smartest. And in the end, she's wrong. She's totally wrong. Okay, I've been complaining a lot. Here's another book I complain about. Babysitter's Club Mystery number 28, Abby and the Mystery Baby. There's a lot of really stupid stuff about this book. The premise is that a baby shows up on the doorstep, and the mystery is figuring out who the baby is. Like, what is this random baby doing here? So the mystery solution is that there's a letter. There is a letter inside the baby's carrier. So Abby didn't notice it. Christy didn't notice it. Abby's mom and sister did not notice it. The police officer did not notice it. So, like, 7 people look at this baby carrier. I mean, look, it's just a baby car seat. It's not that big. How do they all not notice the letter with the mystery solution? Mom does notice it, and Mom acts secretive. And it turns out, okay, cover your ears if you don't want me to spoil the ending. The culprit is Abby's aunt, who has never been mentioned before, ever. So you can't guess who it is, because it's a character that's never been mentioned before. Ha ha ha! I don't think that character ever appears again. I could be wrong. There is, like, well, there's a book with a lot of Abby characters, Abby in Wonderland. But that's also a bad book. I'll complain about that in my review. And then book 106, Claudia, Queen of 7th Grade. I don't remember much. Is this the one with the love triangle where Claudia's fighting between 2 boyfriends, and the one boyfriend is awesome and the other boyfriend's not awesome, but he's hot, so she likes him? Yeah. I forget if I liked it or not. I don't want her to end up with the hot guy. I want her to end up with the good boyfriend. Yeah. Then on the 23rd, the final Cirque du Freak book. So I'm finishing the series. It's got 12 books in this series. So I finish the series, and then I do a general recap of the series. On the 26th, Diary of a Wimpy Kid number 6. That's the next Wimpy Kid book. And then for the rest of the month, I've got 3 books, 3 commissions. The next Sammy Keys book, Sammy Keys and the Psycho Kitty Queen. Farmer Boy by Laura Ingalls Wilder, so I believe that's the 2nd book in the Little House series. Yes, it is. And then the next Hannah Swenson book, Coconut Layer Cake Murder. I should point out that I did do a poll here on YouTube asking people what book reviews they wanted me to post. So that's how we ended up with a Batman book, an Encyclopedia Brown book, a Wimpy Kid book, and then how many Babysitter's Club books? 3, 4? 4. Yeah. People really like Babysitter's Club reviews on my channel. And here are the various book reviews I did last month. Diary of a Wimpy Kid number 11. I did not enjoy the book. It was rambling and unfocused. A lot of the stories went on for too long. There was kind of a running storyline about scary books and Halloween, and I felt like if that had been an actual storyline, then the book would have been good. We've had other books like that, like book number 5, The Ugly Truth, where all the stories pretty much focused on puberty and getting older. Similarly, book number 12, I mean, that's all one story. It's got a nice, strong focus. And then also, less so with The Deep End, but The Getaway and The Deep End were both excellent. Number 13, I did not like as much, but it was all themed around winter and, you know, snow and those sorts of stories. So I feel like if book 11 had done the same thing, if it had been themed around Halloween, then that would have been better, because it had the potential to have stories all focusing on Halloween and scary stuff, but instead just sort of rambling, weird stories. So I saw some people say this is the worst book in the series, and I can understand that argument. It was not very good. I read Wearing the Cape, which is a superhero novel, self-published. I read the first 2 books of the series. I think there's like 10 books in the series. It's about a girl who becomes a superhero named Astra, You'll notice I have a beard in this review, and then I don't have a beard when I'm reviewing the second book, Villains Inc., which was more of a lot more excitement, a lot more action in that book, whereas the first book had a lot more world building and setting up, well, what would it be like if superheroes were in the real world? I read the second book in the Basil of Baker Street series. I read several Nancy Drew Files books, but I was only able to do reviews for 2 of them. Number 78, Update on Crime, where Nancy tries to figure out who's going to kill a news reporter. Hal, he's the lead news reporter, so she's trying to save his life. And then Harlequin number 16, No Nice Girl, which was basically the story of, what was her name? Anyway, she kept showing up and just trying to ruin her cousin's life, basically for the sake of being mean. She puts on this fake nice girl act, but all she cares about is ruining her cousin's life and doing everything she can to destroy her cousin over and over and over again. And there is some romance too. So, Wimpy Kid the Getaway, I already talked about this, but Greg's family goes on vacation, and it was hilarious. It was great. And another vacation book is number 15, The Deep End, which I thought was super hilarious too. These were great vacation books. I did not think The Long Haul was a very good vacation book. It was my least favorite book of the series at that point. But these two were both excellent, and it makes me wish there was another vacation book. Wimpy Kid number 13, The Meltdown, is okay. I'm not a huge fan of winter and snow, so I wasn't a huge fan of having an entire book about winter and snow. A couple of Garfield books here. Garfield in the Rough was fine. I'd say like half to 3/4 of it is good, and then like a third of it was not so good. Like not the second third. I don't know, the third quarter of it was kind of bad. There was like this bunny rabbit, and all the jokes stopped. It stopped having jokes in like the final half. That wasn't so good. Garfield 25 Years of Me, I did not like that book at all. It's all birthday jokes. So jokes from Garfield's first birthday, then his second birthday, third, fourth, fifth, and so on for 25 years. That's all. That's all there is to that book. Already talked about Wearing the Cape number 2. Second book in the series. This one's more action-packed as, and it's more of a detective mystery too, trying to figure out who the culprit is. You know, who's responsible. Somebody's in charge of a team of supervillains and keeps attacking our heroes. Who is it? Then Encanto, we don't talk about Bruno. So this is a book based off the popular song. I didn't think it was a very good book. It felt like a cheap cash-in. And let's see, Nancy Drew Files number 79, No Laughing Matter. Nancy goes undercover at a comedy club, and it was pretty good. I wish there were jokes. There are no jokes in the book, even though it takes place in a comedy club. There are no jokes, so that was weird. The comedy club is a cover for a secret illegal gambling operation. That's the mystery. And then Little Mermaid number 9, The Boyfriend Makes Up, which ironically has way more jokes than No Laughing Matter. So, Ariel's two sisters. It's a mix-up, because Atina's too shy to ask the boy she likes to the dance, so Adela tries to help, but Adela asks the wrong boy. And when she tries to make things right, the wrong boy wants to date Adela, so now both sisters are going to the dance with different boys, the wrong boys, so they decide to switch costumes, but the boys realize the mistake, so they decide to switch dates as well. It's just a huge boyfriend mix-up, and when I brought this book back to the library, the librarian was so amused, she read it out loud to the other librarians there. I mean, she read the summary, she didn't read the entire book, because it is a chapter book, but, yeah. Okay, so those are the various books I read in April. I talked about all the book reviews, which are going up in May. Have a great month, everybody.